very dangerous attacking unit for Syosset against a stout Farmingdale defense. All of their poles, not by design, are football players, so they bring that physicality from this same football field at Don Snyder Stadium to the lacrosse field. And all three as well are committed. Good pass inside. Overhead shot and a goal. Dylan Stadler gives Syosset the 1-0 lead.
Great first goal to get on the board for Syosset. Really good set, having won the first faceoff. They've really controlled the possession game here. You see the double team there. It starts the Farmingdale defense on the slide. Dylan Stadler standing up top, wide open. Really nice high-to-high shot to beat Danny Seaman.
So for Stadler, his 7th goal and another clean win. Although Accardo struggles a little bit, he gets checked by Schmeichel, and they'll call a hold, so Farmingdale will get the ball back. And that's what you got to do. I think if you're Farmingdale, not that you concede the face-off, Dave, but you realize that you have a disadvantage there. So if there's a ground ball to be won immediately after the face-off, you've got to get that ground ball.
You know, Dylan, the last game we did, Garden City Garden City had a big advantage at the face-off X as well. So we were talking about some of those ways in which coaches will strategize to combat that. Sometimes you put a pole right at the face-off X. Sometimes you get somebody quick and scrappy to get on the wing to kind of disrupt what's going on. That was a great job by Jordan Schmeichel to break that one up in order to prevent what could have been a very clean, fast break off the face-off for Syosset.
So here comes the Dalers looking to respond. And that's an errant pass, and that's something, too, they've got to be careful with, because we talked about the poles for the Dalers. Well, Syosset is really good there, too. Physical, athletic, nasty poles.
They're strong ball carriers as well on the Syosset side. They're very hard, again, very aggressive, throw great checks, great takeaway guys, but they can handle the ball as well. We saw earlier the Cornell-bound Jason Singler be a big part of that clear for Syosset that helped set up that goal. So really multifaceted and talented in a lot of ways.
Decker sidearm shot blocked. And again, the poles there. That's A.J. Zuleta, the sophomore. Possession, though, stays with the Dalers. Some changes offensively. That's Colton Becker, 3. Hungerford, the Dalers head coach, said, look, we've been trying different things, different guys. They've moved some guys. Swim move, bouncer. And not sure if Greco got a piece, but it bounces over, and that shot was by Tommy Decker.
Farmingdale doing a lot to create and dodge from the alleys, and ultimately it's allowing a lot of good vision for Joey Greco to start this game. Syosset defense doing a good job of giving them absolutely nothing in the middle, so the Dalers offense has really been facilitated from the outside.
Wilson tries his pass inside to Woodland. That's picked off, and here comes Lefkowitz.
We talked about the poles for Syosset being good ball handlers. Lefkowitz going to Haverford next year, one of the best Division III programs in the country. A big body at number 7, but again, great speed, great size, and ultimately very strong with his stick skills.
So Syosset, the 1-0 lead early on here, and they get another bite at the apple here, trying to extend their lead. There's Steven DiStefani. DiStefani, 22. All he did the other day was score the overtime winner against Massapequa. Both of these teams with matching 8-7 wins over a young Massapequa team this year. Spin move from X. Lowering the shoulder, turning back the other way. It's Alexander in on his hands, though it was 50 Ramos.
So the matchup we're going to see, Alexander versus Ramos. Again, Alexander, a big physical player, but has a lot of speed and agility as well. As I said before, he really does remind me of a young John Grant Jr.
Garone out top. DiStefani dodges to the cage, and Seaman there again.
DiStefani made 2 nice face dodges to get to the goal and get a nice shot from a good area. But Danny Seaman, again, despite being 1 goal behind, is really playing strongly right now. Again, he's a good quarterback on this clear, but we know Syosset is going to be very aggressive on the ride. And now we see Farmingdale sparking things with the pole, carrying the ball.
Bouncer goes wide. That was a great clearance, too, by Seaman, where he was able to pick out Christian Lembo, and the Maritime commit bounces his shot wide. Backup was there, so the Dalers looking to equalize. You mentioned a moment ago just some changes offensively, Kyle Wilson being one of them. He was part of like a second midfield line. He's now bumped up to attack. A big loss for the Dalers. We saw him warming up before the start of the game, but Dom Ciaccio not physically ready. He's been battling a hamstring issue all season. That turnaround shot well over the cage by Tommy Decker. So some different, again, moving parts offensively for the Dalers. Some younger guys getting some looks, some opportunities. We'll see when they go on a man up. Jack Agers. And there's the equalizer. Right to the cage goes Tommy Decker. He scores his 20th of the year, and we are tied at 1.
As we said before, a lot of the Farmingdale offense is being predicated down the alley. Tommy Decker dodges with his right hand, gets some speed on Lefkowitz, gets under, and then buries that one high to high in the far corner past Joey Greco.
Hungerford says that Decker is our best offensive player, one of the best in Nassau, one of those guys in his senior year. Again, he's already committed to Albany, but a huge rising stock guy. He said, like he doesn't pay a lot of attention to it, but, the rankings and where you are and how many stars you have, he says, I don't really care. But Decker's a guy who maybe has been overlooked from a recruiting or national look kind of a standpoint, but he has delivered for the Dalers this year.
Well, something you certainly don't want to overlook is C.J. Mangio winning that faceoff. That's, again, a key part of this game that we thought that Syosset was going to come in with a huge advantage. So great for Farmingdale there to get the equalizer and ultimately have an upset at the faceoff X with C.J. Mangio winning a clean draw there against Ricardo.
Yeah, Mangio 61% from the faceoff X. Now here comes Tomaso Ramos, Lorenzo Ramos's younger brother, the sophomore, number 2. Again, another one of those changes. He's a guy who played as a D-midi. Now he's in on this midfield line. Capucciati swings it, and that's where Ramos is. The sophomore has got 2 goals, 3 assists. Hungerford calls him a star waiting to explode, a really, really good athlete.
Sometimes a player like that just needs that big coming out party, that big game where he gets a lot of good looks. Everything shows up for him.
Ramos forced to the outside. That's some terrific defensive work. And we go the other way.
Matt McPhee, very strong defensive midi with the short stick for Syosset. Did a great job there of matching Ramos's body. Almost took the ball away from him on the lift on the stick check.
Farmingdale will be more patient this year than no doubt you've seen them in the past. Hungerford says, I was more like a madman. I wanted to have that sort of, and there's a hold, so we'll go the other way, have that like 48 minutes of madness of just getting up and down and winning games 17-16. A different look from them this year. More patience on offense, the stronger players or maybe some of the better players for the Dalers this year on this side of the ball, and they've grinded out some results, whereas in the past they weren't that type of a team.
Yeah, Farmingdale in the past has definitely been known for a running gun style. As we spoke about with Hungerford, they've really slowed things down this year, and especially coming into this game, I think we're going to see the Syosset defense really extend out even with their short sticks in order to create turnovers.
Kotler's pass inside. Ball's on the carpet. Ground ball right in front of Seaman. This is a dangerous one. A rugby scrum ensues. And it goes right back into Kotler's hands. Kotler the pass. Sidearm shot and a goal. Garone. 2-1 Syosset.
Good on the refs there to let that one play out. Again, it was a dangerous scrap, but it was clean in front of the goal. Ball pops out. Syosset. Kotler is the beneficiary. Good job there. Good vision to get it across to Ferrone. And Garone does a good job of utilizing the screen and taking that one high to high to beat Danny Seaman and get the 1-goal lead back for the Braves.
Yes, Michael kind of overplayed him, and he was able to turn and get his way and get that pass, and there's another Accardo win. So he's now 3 of 4 at the face-off X, and Syosset fresh off taking their second lead of this first half, looking to extend it.
You're right. Smeichel and Kotler both came out of that scrum really hot off the gate. Smeichel kind of overplayed a little bit. Kotler, as I mentioned before, did a good job of scooping up that ground ball, staying poised, not shooting right away, utilizing his vision to see Garone across, who did a great job of utilizing that screen to get the goal. A lot of traffic in front of the net left over.
Some physicality by the short stick D-Midi. The ball goes to Alexander, and as you said, Ramos, his best friend today, all over him. Alexander goes low to high. What a save by Seaman.
Alexander did a great job there of creating his own shot. Again, a big physical player, but man, am I impressed with his speed and his shiftiness to get above GLE and then come underhand to create that shot. Great save by Seaman.
Bouncer goes wide. Pick up there by Alexander. He's also so good. You mentioned his physicality. That shot blocked in front. Alexander wins the chase for the loose ball. He's great from his neck down, but his lacrosse IQ as well is tremendous. We'll see often where he'll get doubled. He turns away from the double. There he is, bouncing it. And Ramos certainly affecting that shot. Chase for the ball. Seaman thought he'd get there, but it was Buetti who won the race.
No question about it. Alexander is a facilitator. A guy like Buetti can't be the player he is without a guy like big number 36. They're very much in sync. In the play before Buetti loses this ball, you could see how they're kind of on the same page as Alexander creates that shot, and Buetti had the backup in the far corner.
That was Christian Lembo with the caused turnover, but back come the Braves. Ooh, that shot was blocked in front, and it was again Lembo. Referee looking to him, and we should have a stoppage probably in a moment. Took that one high as well, Lembo, and he'll come off, get the cheers from the crowd here too. That was a tough one for Lembo to eat, but he's a tough defensive midi, or tough pole, I should say, and we expect to see him back out there again soon.
You know, you mentioned before, it might not necessarily by design, but these Farmingdale defensemen are mostly football players. It might not be by design, but it's definitely part of the culture here. A lot of great Farmingdale defensemen, both playing on the football gridiron and the lacrosse field. Jerry Lamb, Steve Panarelli. So, again, very hard-nosed, blue-collar, lunch-pail, hard-hat culture. Lembo definitely embodies that. There was some great lacrosse there, turnovers from end to end. And Lembo, as you said, I'm not sure if that hit him in the chest or the helmet, but he had a great eat there, and Danny Seaman's going to owe him one for that. Jason Singer is going to be going to Cornell next year. He wears the number 21 jersey. I'm not sure if he's going to wear the 21 jersey at Cornell, but that, of course, goes to their best player of character, George Bayardi, wore number 21 at Cornell. He died when he took a shot to the chest several years ago in a game against Binghamton, so we'll see if Kotler gets that on him when he goes up to Ithaca.
So Wilson's shot was wide of the net, and that does it for this first quarter. We thought it would be a good one, and these two teams have delivered through 12 minutes. It's Syosset with a 2-1 lead. You're watching this Nassau Conference 1 showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. Now is the time to promote your business on our broadcasts.
Now Farmingdale will fire and find the back of the net.
Top of the key, 4-3, good.
With viewership in the thousands, your company will get the local attention it needs. Best of all, we offer affordable rates. High school sports online audiences are growing. Take advantage by advertising with Varsity Media.
Hands off, three-point shot is up and in. You back him back 3 yards, it doesn't matter. Touchdown, Freeport.
Contact us today, 516-403-2050, varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Farmingdale. 2-1 is your score. Syosset with the lead over Farmingdale. Let's take a quick look at those starters from the start of this game for Syosset. It's been the same lineup that they've employed. It's Alexander Buetti Garone, your first midfield of Nick Accardo, Stadler and DiStefani. Your poles are Singer, Catolo, and Zuleta. And in the cage, Joey Greco. And, of course, Luca Catolo is at the faceoff X for Farmingdale. Their starters up front, it's Colton Becker, Woodland, and Kyle Wilson. That's that change we mentioned before. Capucciati, Decker, DeCarlo, your first midfield. Faceoff Mangio, your poles, Ramos, Bolello, and Lembo. In the cage, of course, Danny Seaman. In the cage for Syosset, Greco. Another face-off win.
Farmingdale making a change on that face-off, opposed to putting in Craig Mangio, who did have a great win in that first quarter, changing it up and putting Tom Almadina in for that one.
Yeah, Tommy Almadina, we expected to see him here as well. The senior versus the sophomore, Almadina on the year, 54%. So you just figure it's going to be different looks against Accardo and just trying to wear down. Accardo's not going to come off. Here's Kotler. The fake goes down. Schmeichel with the pole, and there's good to see number 33 back in the game off of that getting hit by the ball. That's Lembo, and let's see now if the Dalers can withstand this ride and get the clearance that they want.
So before they use Lembo to kind of get lost in the far corner, we're going to have a timeout by Farmingdale. Good timeout. Ultimately didn't want to get the delay of game. On the earlier clear that Farmingdale converted, Christian Lembo did a great job of getting lost in the far corner. Came in wide open for that shot that he kind of short-hopped a little bit that went over the cage. As you could see there, Syosset and Coach Calabria has developed a great ride that even a mobile goalkeeper like like Danny Seaman is unable to beat. So really good timeout there by Coach Hungerford.
We talked about how important this game is. We'll show you the standings as well right now, and you could see this is a combined Nassau Conference. So Plainview Old Bethpage obviously at 9-0, Hicksville at 9-1, but they're playing in the Division 2. D1 teams are Farmingdale, Syosset, Port Washington, and Pequot. So Farmingdale, Syosset, the winner of this game, will have that pole position to be the number 1 seed which will be this year a 6-team playoffs. There'll be one team coming up from B, so probably Plainview Old Bethpage, and then you're home, which is important as well. You're getting more fans in the building. You're comfortable in your surroundings. You're home for the quarterfinals and semifinals, and then the championship game this year. Not at Hofstra, which we've loved for so many years. We hope to be back there again next year, but this year it's at Mitchell Field, so it's just right across the street.
Yep, right down the road.
A good championship venue. And Syosset, of course, a team that was there a couple of years ago. Well, there being Hofstra, losing the Massapequa in the championship game, and the Dalers trying to get back there and get to the title game. And you would argue through 9 games of the year, these are your 2 favorites. So this could potentially be a championship game preview, although I think Tim Radomski's Chiefs, a young Massapequa team this year, I think might have something to say about that as the year goes on. And Port Washington is a team as well that has been in the mix, and I think they're taking that next step this year. So they'll also, I think, impact this battle for a county championship, and SEMA just throws it away. And that's some of these errors, especially against a Syosset team with as potent an attack as they have, could be very costly.
So the timeout doesn't work. Unable to break the clear. They drew up a really good play, just an errant pass there, and then Syosset's going to have another opportunity here to repossess.
Accardo with Schmeichel all over him, backs it back out, and they'll push up top to Stadler. Stadler beats his man, fires in front. That was a pass, and an errant one at that, so we'll go the other way. Almost like that was like a free possession for Syosset, so take your chances there, and it didn't work. And again, here's that ride.
Yeah, Farmingdale's not going to have an opportunity to call a timeout every time they're in a clearing situation. So looks like they were finally able to break that one there with Steve DiCarlo getting open in space in midfield.
Yeah, I think it's always important, right? You got to locate the short stick, and that's what they did. DiCarlo was at the middle of the field, and no harm, no foul there off of those turnovers. So it's still a 2-1 game. The Dalers with a chance to equalize for the second time today.
We'll see if Farmingdale continues to dodge from the alley. If they continue to have success there, it might be time for Syosset to start to call the early slide from the crease. But right now you see all of Syosset's best pulls, such as Lefkowitz and Singer, being really pushed out on their men.
Tommaso Ramos in a foot race. The double comes, turns back out of that, goes up top. Decker spins to his right. Decker over the net.
Good rotation by Syosset. On the slide package there, Jason Singer sloughed off his man. Good job by Farmingdale to recognize where the slide was coming from and get the shot from the top of the zone.
Woodland bounces it wide. Great job by Woodland just to shed his check and get open for that shot. Becker from X. They'll push it back out. Two is Ramos. He's got Stadler on him. Ramos backs up. Cuts outside. Spins inside lefty. The slide comes. Pushes it back out.
Lefkowitz sloughed a little bit early there. He could have done a better job of getting it to DiCarlo. Might have had an open shot.
Woodland again. Tries to work off the pick. Fakes a pass. Turns inside. He stepped in the crease. So that goal will not count. Syosset's ball. It's on the carpet. It's picked up. And now the Braves have a chance to run. Again. What a job defensively by Lembo. The Oilers come right back, and they... Again, these passes are just off the mark.
But they're catchable. I think that's the second time we've seen Nick Biscardi from Farmingdale miss a pass that was catchable. I think that he would have been on the recipient end of the plan clear that they had when they called the timeout in the clearing situation earlier before. Again, that pass was a little bit off, but if it touches your stick, it's a catchable ball. So ultimately, it could always be a little bit more crisp, but that's, the second time in a very short period in which we've seen Nick Biscardi mishandle the rock.
You mentioned both of these teams' last games for Syosset. An 8-7 overtime win over Massapequa. Stefani 3 goals and an assist. We mentioned his overtime winner. Greco made 9 saves in that one, and the Dalers off of their own 8-7 win over Massapequa. Then they defeated Long Beach 14-3. Decker with 3 goals and 1 assist. Woodland with 2 and 1 for the Dalers. Again, Farmingdale with a 6-game winning streak. Their only loss this year, 11-6 at Garden City on May 10th, and Syosset have won their last 5, their lone defeat. A rivalry loss to Cold Spring Harbor, 11-10 in overtime back on May 14th.
Man, would I love to see Farmingdale play Garden City again. I'm not sure how good of a game it would be because, again, Garden City would have that formidable advantage at the face-off X, but a lot of similarities, and what a great takeaway there by Lorenzo Ramos. I'm telling you, these Farmingdale polls, as per usual, as part of their culture, as part of their history, really doing a great job of extending out and showing that they mean business.
Now, obviously, Syosset look to combat that with their ride, right? Because, look, the Dalers can get turnovers all they want, but if they can't clear, you're getting the ball right back.
Here's a situation where you have a pole holding the ball a little bit longer than you ultimately want to there. We've seen Christian Lembo carry the ball quite a little bit in this game. Syosset did a great job there of really cutting off and shutting off all the offensive options, which kept the ball number 33 stick longer than he wanted to, and Syosset gets it right back. So a lot of make it take it lacrosse. Good riding, good pushing out by poles. Neither team is really letting the other one get into a rhythm.
Another pass off the carpet, but there's a push from behind. Accardo was chasing it, and he did get pushed from behind by Biscardi. So Syosset will maintain possession. Danny Garone steps in, 17 goals on the year for Garone, also 16 assists, so he's impacting the game on both ways. They'll kick it back out top for Nicky Accardo, the Stevens Tech-bound senior, a 3-year varsity starter is Nick Accardo. He fires high. Syosset maintains possession.
Might be going to school in a different state, but ultimately not too far away in Hoboken, New Jersey. Short path train into Manhattan.
Short from Manhattan. I'm not so sure. Short from Syosset.
No.
But then again.
Yeah, have to get to Penn Station first.
Oh! The finish by Nicky Accardo. That's what they're going to like to see at Stevens Tech. 3-1 Syosset.
Pivotal goal for Syosset. Accardo really doing a good job of finding his space. Great initiation by Syosset. Again, brings it all the way through on the Taj. Kind of goes around the world, dishes it back out to Accardo, and takes a nice bounce shot in the off-stick side corner past Danny Seaman.
Looked like that was Garone, 25 with the assist. So 3-1 Syosset, and there's Accardo again. That's the younger brother, the younger of the two Accardos, Luca, the junior. He'll go and play his collegiate lacrosse up at Binghamton. And now Syosset looking to get into a rhythm offensively, which is when they are really, really dangerous. Because they could, once they get going, they can hum.
They're up 2 goals. They have the advantage at the face-off X. They could really control possession here. Again, the Farmingdale defense has shown that they are not going to back down. Lorenzo Ramos has sent a message to Alexander. If you want to dodge to the goal, please bring it all day long. But the Syosset offense has a lot of power, a lot of weapons, a lot of options. And if they could win face-offs, it's going to make this Farmingdale defense very tired.
Biscardi comes with the help, and he is called for the foul. Seaman makes the save. We've got our first man-up situation.
I think that's going to be a slash on Jordan Sminkle. Might be wrong, or it could be...
It's a hold, it looks like, on Biscardi.
Biscardi.
So a 30-second man-up opportunity, the first for either team.
Sminkle and Biscardi both slid hard there. Biscardi ultimately getting put into a lot of work dog possessions. He's being relied upon a lot in transition in the clearing game, playing a lot of defensive midi. Again, Farmingdale's doing a good job on these slides. They're ultimately moving at the right time to cool down what ultimately is a formidable Syosset offense. It could get hot very quickly, but what a great first man-up opportunity by Syosset, being up 2 goals right now.
And Luca Accardo normally, right, he's your Fogo, but he sees time here on the man-up. That's how good of a lacrosse player that he is. He gets the pass out, and now you see Alexander inverted now up top. Great cross-crease pass. Seaman, believe he got a piece, but they stepped in. It was Stadler, 4, who stepped in, and this is a big clearing opportunity for the Dalers. Seaman just heaves it downfield. A terrific look to Tommaso Ramos.
Good, fast clear by Farmingdale there. Again, we know that Syosset has a tactical clear. Syosset has 1 extra man on the field, so it's 1 less option for Farmingdale to get it up the field. Really good job by Seaman to recognize Ramos wide open on the other side of the 50.
So now you just hold on for a few minutes if you can. Hungerford wants a call, doesn't get it. Double comes. Oh, what a spin. Out of trouble. We're even up.
Nice job there by Paolo Pucciati. Again, a lot of players on the field today are touted to go to Binghamton. Luca Accardo at the face-off X for Syosset, Anthony Bello and Lorenzo Ramos for Farmingdale, but Pucciati set to walk on to the Binghamton Bearcats roster. The coaching staff from Binghamton is looking at their recruits in this game. That might be a clip he wants to pay attention to.
Yeah, absolutely. So now Farmingdale, a chance here in the final 4.5 to cut their deficit. That's Agers spinning from X. Good to see him back. Second game back from an ACL injury. Number 16, Jack Agers, and the Agers name is synonymous with Farmingdale lacrosse. Ball on the carpet scooped up well there by Tommaso Ramos. Agers' older brother Brody, a goalie at St. John's. His sister Riley, a freshman on the BU women's team. And Jack, again, just a junior. So expect him, this will be a big year this year, and that's, again, unfortunate for him having the ACL injury, but should be a big summer for him and on the travel lacrosse circuit, and let's see if he gets becomes the third Agers to go D1. Bouncer right into the stick of Greco. That was Woodland with the attempt.
Good job by Woodland to create his own shot, shooting that ball around the body of the defender. Ultimately, the ball didn't pick up a lot of mustard off the turf, and Joey Greco was able to read that one.
Second save for Greco. Pole goal it is! There's the finish by Singer. And Syosset extends their lead to 4-1.
Big energy goal for Syosset. The slide does not come from Farmingdale. Singer takes it down the alley. Really not a lot of effort there by Tom Decker to cut him off. No slide from the defense. They know that's an automatic goal if they're able to boom it down to Buetti or Alexander. And it looked like Singer was able to literally get inches from the crease to dunk that on Danny Seaman.
3 consecutive goals. Mangio, a big win. Now they look to push the pace. Extra pass to Woodland, though, goes right into Greco's stick.
Textbook fast break, and again, a big win for Farmingdale, because at any point in time, as Syosset continues to extend their lead, we know that they really do have an advantage at the face-off X, but how impressive was that? See CJ Mangio win that forward and spark what was ultimately a textbook fast break. A little too unselfish there. Nice extra pass to Woodland in front. Just a little bit off hip and was not able to corral it.
10 is Luca Accardo. He's still on. Again, he's part of that second midfield unit for Syosset as well as that man up. And here's Di Stefani. What a year the senior, the uncommitted senior, has had. 16 goals, 5 assists for the big, strong righty midfielder. There's Kotler. Talk about legacies, right? How about his older brother, Lucas? A standout at Yale, goes into the transfer portal when the Ivy League decides not to have lacrosse this year, ends up out at Denver.
Yep. Denver and Notre Dame were very big beneficiaries of the transfer portal that came from COVID. Didn't really transition into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, interesting, right? And there's Kotler, his shot affected. Ground ball, scooped up. Here come the Dalers.
Pucciati, good ground ball.
Head on a swivel, looks, oh, look at a fake. Nearly broke the ankles of Kotler. Gets it right back. And there's the Carlo up top. And now it looks like they're trying to seal off, or Kotler maybe wants to get back at Capucciani. Capucciani and Kotler both run off.
Good exchange through the midfield line. Wasn't sure if they were going to try to dodge on Lefkowitz there. They had success earlier in the game that way. Back down the alley for the Dalers.
Decker's low shot wide. You could see Lefkowitz kind of shadowing a little bit. He didn't do like a full slide over and double, but he was in the neighborhood.
A lot of speed on the outside from this Farmingdale offense. If Syosset's going to give them the alley, they're certainly happy to take it.
There's Kyle Wilson, 7. And a timeout by Hungerford. He will take it with him as well in this final minute of this first half. Syosset with a 4-1 lead over Farmingdale. You're watching this Nassau Conference 1 showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. Now is the time to showcase your skills for the next level. College recruiting videos help your athlete land a spot on the team and can save money on college tuition. Consider a professional video produced by Varsity Media. Our quality film and state-of-the-art editing will help your athlete stand out from the competition. We offer affordable rates and a quick turnaround. Contact Varsity Media today and book a college recruiting video. 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
Taking the face-off. Switching.
And we're back here at Farmingdale. Final minute of this first half. Dylan Butler and Dave Franklin. And here's a look at our upcoming schedule. And it's a good one for sure. We've got 2 games on tap tomorrow. I'll be on that East Meadow Garden City game. And You can see going forward as well, some big-time matchups coming up for you. We got Port Washington and Farmingdale. Should be a great one. Port Washington goes back-to-back. So how real is Port this year? That's where we'll find out with Farmingdale and Syosset back-to-back.
And if I'm the Vikings coaching staff, I'm watching this game, because if I'm seeing Farmingdale and Syosset back-to-back, I definitely want to know what the Dalers and the Braves are going to have in store. But, again, a lot of interesting outliers, a lot of parity in Class 1 this year. And Port Washington's done some impressive things before they take on these two powerhouses to close out their season.
I did my chart for Port Washington, or I did my coach call from the Syosset parking lot, and I apologize for being a little later than the call that I wanted to be. And Port Washington coach was like, listen, that's fine, I was watching. He's like, we're playing these guys. Great call, but I was watching more from a scouting perspective. So Farmingdale, let's see if they can get an answer. And there's Singer again. He's got the goal, he's got the pole, and he's aggressive in on the hands. He doesn't get the ground ball, and he might not even get the cause turnover, but that was all Jason Singer. Here come the Braves. Last second, bouncer. Looked like it was saved by Seaman. That attempt by Matt McPhee, and that does it for a low-scoring but entertaining first half. So Syosset scored first, and they went 3 unanswered as well, and they take a 4-1 lead into the second half. We'll have some first half stats and highlights for you when we return. If you're watching this Nassau Conference 1 showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network. welcome you back to Don Snyder Stadium. It's halftime, and Syosset with a 4-1 lead over Farmingdale. Dylan Butler, Dave Franklin. Let's take a quick look at some first half stats from this one. And we mentioned the saves and how both of these goalies are solid. Seaman, the busier of the two goalies, he's got 4 saves. Syosset 0 for 1 on the man-up. The Dalers not yet with a man-up opportunity. And face-offs, you've got to almost say that's a win for Farmingdale just because of Accardo's ability. Yeah, Accardo's won 5 of 7, but even just to get Mangio to get 2 of those wins was a big deal for them.
It's not the fact that Mangio has won 2 face-offs, it's when he won them. Ultimately, those were both draws that came off of Syosset goals where they could have been big momentum shifters if they were able to score goals off of a fast break coming off the draw, or ultimately just to get a strong possession. In both of those situations, the young sophomore CJ Mangio was able to get great face-off wins, both cleanly to himself. One did a good job of getting the ball into space, taking time, and creating possession. And another one, we saw a textbook fast break where ultimately Farmingdale just decided to make one more extra pass, was a little bit more unselfish than he should have been, Jack Agris, when he had that opportunity to shoot, and then moved it across to Ryan Woodland, who wasn't able to get the handle. So, again, 2 face-off wins for Farmingdale, 2 big face-off wins for Farmingdale, and it's really the time in which they happen, which you got to focus on. 4
different goal scorers for Syosset. It's Garone. Well, it started with Dylan Stadler, and then it was Garone, followed by Nicky Accardo, and then the pole goal by Jason Singer, and the lone Dalers goal was scored by Tommy Decker. We'll take a quick break, and we'll have the South. There's one of the goals right here, turning. There's the pass and the step-down shot. That was the finish by Stadler to make it 1-0 for Syosset. Well, this is a battle between 2 8-1 teams. The winner will be in pole position to be the number 1 seed in the Nassau Class A playoffs. Will it be the Braves or the Dalers? The response coming when we return. You're watching this Nassau Conference 1 showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area's leader in sports media production. We specialize in live streaming.
Gargiulo over the middle. He's got a man. It's complete. And Ciolino. See you later. Touchdown, Massapequa.
Videography. And photography. Covering all sports at all levels. We feature aerial photography and videography, college recruiting videos, live streaming of games.
Top of the key, Smith. Why not? Wow. Bang! McKee, first down and more! Charlie McKee! Touchdown, Oceanside!
School events, graduations. Varsity Media is available to cover a game, a tournament, a season, or any special event.
Talk to us a little bit about what went through your mind, how you prepared for that to run such a fast speed.
Currently, spectators are limited at events. Let Varsity Media bring the event to your fans. Contact Varsity Media today for more information. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone 516-403-2050.
We welcome you back to Farmingdale. Second half just about to start. It's the visiting Braves of Syosset with a 4-1 lead on the Dalers of Farmingdale. Dylan Butler, Dave Franklin here. Thoughts from the first half?
You know, I really am not surprised by where we are right now. I think that Farmingdale is still very much within striking distance. As we kind of discussed going into the break, Syosset does have an edge at the face-off X, but Farmingdale was able to get 2 big wins by CJ Mangio when they really needed them, so this could be a key draw as well as we start the second half.
And it is won again by Accardo. Big possession here as well. I think especially if you are Farmingdale, you need to get a stop and really get things going on the attack. There's Nicky Accardo. Lowered the shoulder, goes to X, and A.J. Alexander begging for the ball was 22. DiStefani off the pole. Off the pipe, I should say, by Alexander. Schmeichel looking for the ground ball. So is Capucciati. It's still loose. There's a push, or they'll call a hold, so it'll be Farmingdale ball. Good job by Capucciati to force that.
Yeah, and if I'm Coach Calabria, I'm not really happy right now. Oh, but now I'm happy. DiStefani, he really wanted the ball. As we saw on that offensive stance, it was not happy to get it. He just takes it away from Capucciati.
Oh, and what a ball fake! And the save by Seaman!
Great end-to-end lacrosse. Again, we're really not seeing either team get into a rhythm. A little bit of sloppy play, but it's been fun to watch in transition. Pole to pole, end-to-end. Balls in the turf, but it doesn't stay there for long.
We go the other way. It's Lembo.
Farmingdale needs to keep possession here. They really need a good shot on goal. Syosset, again, for the most part during this game, has really dominated the time of possession. Farmingdale's had some really key takeaways and had some great looks at the goal. Only gotten one on the scoreboard. So, again, Syosset came out of this half with a lot of firepower. So now that Farmingdale has an opportunity to, again, a team like Farmingdale in the past, this is where they go right to the rack, really use tempo against their opponent. But this is a different Farmingdale team than squads of the past. So this is where they really want to be tactical and use time and the clock to their advantage.
Back out to Capucciati. He's got the short stick. Capucciati. Back to X. Wilson creeps in at the crease. Backs up. That's 7. Trying to turn from X. Going back the other way. Blowing a tire, but getting back up. Lowering the shoulder and the overhand shot. That's a lot of work by Colton Becker to get that shot off. And no backup as well.
Yeah, bad recognition there by the Farmingdale offense. Ultimately, Kyle Wilson, a midfielder, was closest to the end line as he was hanging out at GLE. Farmingdale has to do a better job of attack, recognizing when they are in those formations so they can back up their shots.
So a little bit more of an aggressive ride we've seen. And there's Schmeichel again, nearly forcing the turnover. Oh, and gets it from behind. In front, Buetti! Seaman! It's loose! Lembo kicks it. Chases it down. Yard sale! Alexander! Lembo wants the foul. We'll go the other way.
No penalty called there, but a push from behind called on Alexander. Again, if possession had been established by the referee's standpoint, that should be a penalty. But, man, aggressive end-to-end lunch pail lacrosse.
Look out. Singer. Pass in front, and there's the finish. Tommy Decker, his second of the game. And it's 4-2 for Syosset.
And that's some throwback Farmingdale offense. Again, things are getting a little bit hot, a little bit fiery. Farmingdale does a great job of taking advantage of seeing that Syosset's not in their settled clear. They push tempo immediately. Great job here of Farmingdale. Colton Becker hanging out on the wing and does a great job of feeding inside to get Farmingdale their second goal of this game.
That was Becker to Decker. And Mangio, another face-off win.
Procedure called on Accardo there. Again, another key face-off that Syosset does not win.
Firing high is Decker! His third! And here come the Dalers!
Coach Hungerford told us they're going to slow things down. They don't want to allow Syosset to dictate their tempo and allow them to move too fast. But now Farmingdale is moving fast. Key face-off that Syosset did not win on the procedure call, and Decker, very much feeling the momentum from his last goal, takes that right to the center of the field, gets the time and space, 10 and 10, rips it high, right past Joey Greco. And just like that, Farmingdale's back in it. Another key face-off win by Mangio, the sophomore.
Back for the sophomore. And now the Dalers have a chance to tie.
If I'm Coach Calabria and I'm Luca Cardo, I am not happy right now. Again, this was an area of the game where we were supposed to be dominant. Syosset has the edge in experience, with skill, with ability. And ultimately, the young sophomore, CJ Mangio, has been able to pick up key face-off wins at key times. He stopped the momentum for Syosset when they could have gone on a run and they could have gone on a tear. And he's created some great opportunities for Farmingdale offense as well. The first we saw, they were unable to convert. But now, again, he's responsible for, plays a part in 2 goals for Farmingdale back-to-back there.
Becker moves it from X, kicks it back out. And there's DeCarlo. Dodging Ramos. Knocked down in front. Singer gets the GB, turns, gets it back to Greco. And now let's see the Dalers ride and how aggressive they'll be.
Yeah, Farmingdale really has an opportunity to get into their ride. They're almost as skilled as Syosset in this regard. They're going to force the pole to carry the ball too.
Oh, Schmeichel lowers the shoulder. Back the other way. The physical lacrosse continues. Kotler with that check. Dalers, though, maintain possession.
Fast, physical lacrosse. Farmingdale really getting the beneficiary side of the call wide open.
Woodland! We are tied at 4.
Farmingdale is taking advantage of the situation. The game is getting hot, the game is getting feisty, and ultimately Farmingdale is just catching Syosset out of position in some of these restarts. Right off the whistle, Syosset defense not in the right place at all, and Tom Decker now gets an assist in this game, found Woodland wide open. Ultimately, Joey Greco had no opportunity there. He had 2 chances, either get out of the cage and try to cut off the pass or throw a hit on Woodland, but ultimately you see Farmingdale's best player, the uncommitted stud junior, step in and bring Farmingdale back to an even ball game.
So this is an Accardo win. Let's see if Syosset can have the response here. They've conceded 3 straight out of the gate.
And hat off to Jordan Schmeichel. Again, he's done a great job of being disrupted in all of these faceoffs, even the ones that Accardo has won. He's been fast to get on the ball, try to scrap it up a little bit. He's been doing a great job of just being disruptive in between the lines, cutting off passes, trying to spark transition. Hats off to number 1 in green and white. Schmeichel.
So the Braves, and here is Alexander, inverted. Alexander with Ramos on him, gets it to X, pumps the brakes, switches to his left. Alexander backs down Ramos, the double comes, his bounce shot wide. Chase for the loose ball, it will stay with Syosset.
Alexander is going to continue to try to create his own opportunities. It's very important for Syosset to recognize that and make sure that they have backup in the far corner in the opposite direction in which he's dodging.
Oh, yard sale. But look at the ball in front. Buetti is robbed by Seaman.
It just seems like Farmingdale has a mental edge. It seems like they're getting on the beneficiary side of a lot of these calls. It seems like they're doing a good job of catching Syosset out of recognition when restarting plays. They're making key saves when Syosset is able to scoop up loose trash in front of the net. So great start to the half for Farmingdale to get them back within this game.
Yeah, this game has heated up after halftime. Errant pass out to midfield. Scooped there, well, and it stays with Syosset.
Great job by Singer to get his long pole over the 50-yard line and goose it across for Syosset to keep possession.
There's Alexander. This time he works off a pick. Alexander lowers his shoulder. He gets leveled in front. And here comes Schmeichel. Look at the athleticism from number 1. Schmeichel pumps the brakes. Look out from behind. Schmeichel checked there from behind. Woodland maintains it in front. Wilson! Farmingdale leads 5-4.
First game of the lead for Farmingdale, and they're just going to win these unsettled situations. They've made it clear. We've talked a lot about Jordan Smeichel and the different things that he's been able to do. Great job by the Syosset defensive midi, ultimately to chase that down. But again, Farmingdale is the beneficiary. We see Ryan Woodland scoop up that ground ball, finds Kyle Wilson wide open in front to give the Dalers the lead.
All Farmingdale here to start this second half. The Dalers with 4 straight goals. They lead at 5-4. You're watching this Nassau Conference 1 showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. Are you settling for a boring live stream? Can't see the players' uniforms? No audio? Camera not following the action? Consider a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Our announcers help tell the story of your game.
McCarthy. He's got. Oh, he's in. Touchdown, Farmingdale.
We feature multiple camera angles, guaranteed to capture all the action.
Touchdown, Oceanside.
Plus added features like graphics, instant replay.
Yeah, the shooters are going to shoot here at Bethpage, and one of many threes on the day.
Interviews, and more. It's your time to shine. And with Varsity Media, now you can. Contact us today and book a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone 516-403-2050.
A game of runs, right? This game of lacrosse. Syosset scores 3 straight to end the first half. Looked like they were in control, but here come the Dalers. 4 straight to start this second half. Back to the face-off X we go. Mangio, 8. Accardo, 10. And Mangio gets the win.
Again, Calabria and Accardo have to be very frustrated here. This is maybe the second or third time that Accardo has actually been called on an illegal procedure to take the face-off away from Syosset. But what a swing we've seen here in the second half. Syosset came in after the first up 4-1. Farmingdale did a great job of ultimately having a good first defensive stop, and they're just winning the ball game mentally here in the second half. It seems like off of every restart, off of every unsettled situation, Syosset doesn't seem to be in the right place, and the Dalers are taking advantage of that.
Talk about taking advantage. Here's Woodland, the low shot into the stick of Greco.
Important save there for Greco. Again, giving up a lot of goals in bunches to start this half. Really important for him to see that rubber and ultimately enforce a successful clear here, which they're able to do. Big possession for Syosset to try to get on the board for the second half. But
Smeichel again.
All over the field.
Look, you'll almost take that if you're Farmingdale, right? But he is having an impact on this game. And in terms of lacrosse, Dave, too, he's just a baby. Like, he's one of those football guys playing lacrosse.
Yep.
But we see him today. He's got the opportunity. If he sticks, I think, to lacrosse and it becomes a serious sport for him, he's got the chance. And there's a save by Seaman. We know he's going next level. A St. John's bound goalie. Another save for him.
Smeichels definitely got potential to play at the next level. He really hasn't grown into his body yet fully. He could develop a lot more there. He's shown that he has speed. His stick skills are pretty good for a player that doesn't have a ton of experience at a high level. So a lot of exciting things to look out for in the future for the young man who wears the number 1 for Farmingdale, perhaps wears number 40 in the future for them.
Failure to advance. So Syosset ball, and that's what Hungerford said. Look, he's a wide receiver in football. Obviously, long, lanky. He's got the wheels as well. But if he sticks to lacrosse, Hungerford said there's certainly Division I interest in his future. Little shimmy, little shake, and Seaman another save. His 10th of the game. Nick Accardo works off the screen set by Alexander, a little pick and pop. It goes back to Alexander. Where's Ramos? There he is, number 50. Great look inside. Stadler turns, fires low to high over the net.
For a short period of time there, Alexander had the matchup on the shorty. Good job of Lorenzo Ramos to ultimately force that switch. Good inside look by Alexander.
Buetti bounces it wide. Look at Seaman chasing down that loose ball. It will stay with Syosset, but he is on his game.
He is a versatile goaltender. Again, he can make big stops. He can get out of the cage. He can chase down errant shots and ultimately get possessions back for you. He's good on the clear as well.
Garone, overhand shot, bounces wide, and you're seeing how I think Seaman is affecting the game, where a lot of these shots now are off the target.
Syosset's getting the looks, no question about it.
Nicky Accardo.
Lucky he didn't get a ward there.
Bouncer, and that's wide again. Again, the chase, and again, it stays with Syosset.
Again, it's really funny, you know, ultimately contradicting what Coach Hungerford told us about tempo. Farmingdale is pushing tempo on offense and defense. We expected them to do it on defense, but again, in addition to Danny Seaman getting out of his cage, you see these Farmingdale poles extending out, throwing checks, getting fired up, also chasing down shots. As you said, as we were coming into this game, it's a chess match.
Alexander. Oh, Ramos all over his hands.
I'm not sure if Binghamton or Providence have each other on their Division I schedules. I know they don't play in the same conference, but man, would it be fun to see these guys go up against each other again as they might in the playoffs. Neither of them are backing down. Great physical lacrosse.
DiStefani turns. Can he get GLE? Turns, fires! Oh, and another save by Seaman.
Seaman is just literally standing up to the task. Syosset's shooters have to be frustrated. They're getting looks. They're creating their own shots. They're finding opportunities off the pass, but man, Seaman's just been playing incredible.
Another shot, that one wide. And Seaman there winning the chase. Seaman's like 5'8", maybe 5'9". He's playing like he's 6'5".
No question about it. So now how effective can Farmingdale be on the ride, on the clear here?
Very.
Again, using poles. That's the way that they've ultimately broken down the Syosset ride. They have to use poles to get open. They need guys, as we said before, like Smyko, like Lembo, like Ramos, to ultimately be confident in their passing and catching abilities.
Decker in the final 30 seconds of this electric third quarter that's been all Farmingdale. Again, they had a 4-1 deficit going in to this third quarter. You see at the bottom of your screen, a 5-4 lead. Lowering the shoulder. The defensive work as well. Pick comes, back out top. This guy's been all over this comeback. Decker feeds, goal line extended. Woodland, loose ball. Greco picks it up, and that does it for the third quarter. Decker's got 3 and 1. Woodland and Wilson have goals, but this guy on the other end has been fantastic. There's a defensive work, and Danny Seaman has brought his lunch pail. He's got 11 saves on the day through 3 quarters. Farmingdale with a 5-4 lead. Final 12 minutes when we come back on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. Now is the time to showcase your skills for the next level. College recruiting videos help your athlete land a spot on the team and can save money on college tuition. Consider a professional video produced by Varsity Media. Our quality film and state-of-the-art editing will help your athlete stand out from the competition. We offer affordable rates and a quick turnaround. Contact Varsity Media today and book a college recruiting video. 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
We welcome you back to Don Snyder Stadium for the final 12 minutes of this battle of teams in first place in Nassau Conference 1. You think this is a great game? We've got a terrific slate ahead as the regular season is winding down. We've got a doubleheader tomorrow as well. I'll be on the call for East Meadow Garden City. Got Cold Spring Harbor again back in action, and Port Washington, a huge double slate against the Dalers, and then these Braves as well. And hey, some girls lacrosse on the action as well. Island Trees on June 8th. Back to the face-off X, and in the game within a game and all the storylines that emerge through 36 minutes, this has been one that's been a positive for Farmingdale, certainly. It's CJ Mangio. He's got 4 wins against Luca Accardo, and Accardo gets that win. Lefkowitz, a huge ground ball for Syosset.
As you were saying, Mangio's had a bunch of key wins, was fortunate a few times to have a procedure called on Accardo. But in other situations, Farmingdale's done a great job of not making these face-off wins easy for Syosset. Very early in the game, we saw Syosset get off to a great start by sparking a fast break, and ultimately Coach Hungerford has said no more of that, whether it's been Mangio doing a great job directly at the X or utilizing Jordan Smichael to shake things up upon the release of the ball. Farmingdale's done some great things in order to really contradict what was supposed to be a big advantage for Syosset coming into this contest.
Your 2 top attackmen for Syosset, both Division I bound players. A.J. Alexander going to Providence, Joe Buetti going to Marist. They've got 43 goals between them, none yet. Alexander looks to change that, and again, Ramos affects his shot into the stick of Seaman.
For the most part, Alexander hasn't given Farmingdale much of a reason to slide. They do it there, and again, here we see Farmingdale effectively utilize their poles in order to spark the clear. They need to give this up to a shorty quickly, but yeah, 2 great Division I bound attackmen for Syosset who've been playing with each other for a long time and certainly have experienced against this Farmingdale team really not having their best day. As I was saying before, not a lot of opportunities where Alexander has forced the Farmingdale defense to slide. When they have, they've done so effectively. And when the Farmingdale defense isn't sliding, it's not ultimately creating a lot of opportunities where Alexander would then dish it to Buetti. Alexander has taken the initiative to try to create his own shots. Buetti has done it a little bit as well, but Buetti's been quiet as far as a ball carrier, and ultimately Danny Seaman has made a lot of great saves on A.J. Alexander.
Capucciati, he's affected this game in a lot of ways. Some big ground balls, and on both sides of the ball, he hands it back out. And the Dalers, Decker plays catch with Tomaso Ramos, who now backs up. He's got the shorty matchup. Ramos drives, turns, spins, goes to Woodland. He too has been quiet. Ryan Woodland, 1 goal on the game. He looks for another. Tough pass into the teeth of the defense. Huge ground ball by Wilson. And you can see Mike Hungerford, the head coach, both hands up. Let's slow it down. They got away with one there where that was kind of a forced pass into the crease, and they were able to get the GB.
Yeah, Farmingdale was able to throw it back for a second and use tempo to their advantage to get back into the game. But now that they have the lead, now they want to control it a little bit more.
Another tough one by Decker. Ball on the turf. Scooped up well. Ramos. That was Becker, the Oneonta-bound 3-year varsity player, number 3, who is at X for Farmingdale. There's the hot hand. Tommy Decker. Decker draws the double to Woodland, the lefty. Woodland fires wide. It stays with Farmingdale. There's Becker against Lefkowitz. Spins. He's got his man. There's the double. Good job by Becker. Curling back the other way. Kicks it back out. Woodland fakes the shot. Bouncer wide of the target. It stays. Well, the backup was there, right? Yes, it
Should
was.
be Farmingdale.
I saw the near side official turning this way and pointing the other way.
And if I'm Farmingdale, I'm trying to dodge on Luco Catola right now. I think that compared to the other Syosset defenders, he's the one that's probably most exposable. But again, I'm really impressed with what Hungerford's doing. As we saw before, they utilize tempo to get themselves back into this game. Unsettled situations, ultimately sparking from transition, taking advantage of Syosset not having good recognition off the restarts. But now that you're up in the fourth quarter, this is where you could slow things down and really take the air out of Syosset's tires. Coach Calabria told his defensive players that he wanted them to extend out and really get aggressive. But now if Farmingdale has a lead and is able to manage tempo, it's hard for Syosset to play their defensive ballgame.
Woodland, the bouncer, and Greco makes the save.
Here comes McPhee.
Back the other way. McPhee! Thought I heard a little bit of a pipe there. Stays, though, at Syosset. That was Greco's 9th save, by the way.
So ultimately, Farmingdale could do everything they possibly can to control the tempo, but they're never going to have the answer to a good defensive strategy like a good goalie like Joey Greco. If he's going to make saves and stop Farmingdale from increasing their lead, we're going to see this one go right down to the wire.
Syosset's win at Garden City earlier this year, it was all about Joey Greco. What a performance in the cage for him. He's one of those guys who really missed out from a recruiting standpoint. Last year as a junior, he'll go to IMG, and Calabria certainly expects him to be a high-level goalie. And Seaman, we know where he's going next year. He's going to St. John's, and they're getting a good one in the cage. Decker down low. Becker! And no, they're going to wave it off. Yes, it's a good goal.
What could you say about Tommy Decker? First of all, really underrated the defense that he's playing. He had a great defensive stanza. Here he comes, pushing transition. Great eyes. Colton Becker wide open, cutting across the crease. Becker does a great job of receiving that, tiptoeing the crease, finishing it deep on Joey Greco. And now Farmingdale is up by 2. Very important face-off here.
I said no for a second because I saw the official kind of shaking his head. But that was more, I think, as Accardo gets the win, more, I think, responding to the Syosset pleas that he was in the crease. Look at Mangio continuing, and that'll be a little extra on Mangio.
That will be a push from behind with possession. So that's a great opportunity for Syosset to bring this back within 1. Good face-off win by Syosset. Accardo did a great job of winning that one back.
And Garone does get that one back. So that ends a streak of 5 straight goals. They're going to wave off the push. So good goal, no man up opportunity.
Great job here by Garone. Spin dodge, gets inside of his man, and really good bounce shot to ultimately break Seaman. Again, Seaman's been making a lot of saves. He's been seeing the ball. He's been strong off the bounce. But that one was really well placed to get under the crossbar. So the penalty's waved off. That would have gone to Mangio for the push with possession, but now that penalty's waved off, and Mangio will take this one.
Chases after the loose ball. Catola as well. Accardo will get it.
Not sure if you noticed, Syosset double pulled on there with Catola and Lefkowitz. 2 pulls on the wing.
Now a chance for the Braves to tie. DiStefani.
DiStefani's been frustrated. He's not been getting the looks that he wants to. Seaman has ultimately gotten the better of him.
So your 3 of your top 4 leading scorers, all not on the scorebook. That's one of the guys, DiStefani. Tries to back down Schmeichel. And another interception defensively.
Great job by Anthony Biello. Ultimately, the last goal was kind of Biello's fault. He was exposed there on the inside roll on Syosset's last goal. He does a great job there intercepting that pass and sparking the clear. And once again, Farmingdale's success in the clear will be predicated from long sticks carrying the ball.
Ramos does such a great job. Just stepped in. He'll come back out, and there's Decker with the ball. 6-5 Farmingdale. Final 5 of this fourth quarter. Again, both teams coming in identical, 8-1 records. We thought this would be perhaps a preview of the county championship, and if it is, and if it's played like this, what a game that'll be at Mitchell Field.
Big goal by Dan Garone to get that last one for Syosset. Again, he had a nice inside roll to beat Anthony Biello there. 1-goal game. Again, Farmingdale wants to take advantage of the clock here, perhaps get a timeout, and really try to extend this lead and win this one comfortably, but I'm not sure Syosset is going to do that, especially with what they're able to do on the ride.
Capucciati glides himself to X. Hands off to Wilson. He has a big goal on this game. The guy who's converted from the midfield to attack. Wilson spins there. Fires wide of the cage. The backup is there. Kyle Wilson, of course, the younger brother of Kevin Wilson, was a huge, terrific running back here. He's playing his football as a running back at LIU.
The Sharks.
Yeah.
Formerly the Pioneers.
That's right. Dropped the CW post in their name. It's just strictly LIU now. Wilson turns. And again, such a smart play there by Wilson. He's a junior. A headsy play, not forcing it. Becker. He's pulled by Zuleta. He did force it, trying to get it to Decker, but he gets honed for his mistake. Now he's got Decker in the timeout called by Hungerford. I think Decker's going to go to the huddle and be like, "Coach, come on, I was free."
Ultimately, that was a really prudent timeout by Hungerford. He did a good, as you said, Decker did a great job of getting that GB back. He was double teamed. He moved it right away, and it was a numbers situation for Farmingdale. But again, this is a situation where Coach Hungerford wants to be prudent, wants to use the clock to his advantage, utilize tempo. You're up by 1 goal. You kind of have a little bit of a mental advantage. You've had that throughout the entire second half, so you don't want to give up anything easy here in order to give Syosset a clean slate. And you really want to do what you can to tire down the Syosset defense, take advantage of the home field, and extend this lead to 2.
Both teams have 2 games left in their regular season, and Port Washington really, I think, is going to have a say here in who finishes atop Nassau Conference 1. So next up for Farmingdale is Port. That's on Friday. We'll have that game for you on the Varsity Media Sports Network right here. And they close out their season against East Meadow next Monday. And for Syosset, it's under the lights at MacArthur next on Friday night. And then they take on Port on the 7th of June. And that's the end of the regular season. We mentioned the playoffs. That starts June 9th, the first round. It's a quick turnaround. It's the 11th for the semifinals and the 15th for the finals. June 19th, the long-anticipated Long Island Championships. They are back in Lacrosse, and that should be a lot of fun. You know, it's around this time of year you start to sort of think about potential matchups, right? Who could play who and where. You know, you think of like maybe a Manhasset Mount Sinai, where you've got Joey Terenzi for Manhasset and you've got Joey Spallina for Mount Sinai. Could that be in Class C as your Long Island Championship? And in the Bs, look, Garden City, you know, they've had their ups and downs, but they're the team certainly look out for there. And Comstock perhaps out east, they've got a chance. And both of these teams have a chance to be that team in the A, which this year is wide open. Speaking of wide open on the crease, that shot was knocked down, but the ground ball stays with Farmingdale. So even after you get a shot that's saved on the crease, the Dalers get the ball back.
Again, if we were playing college lacrosse again, you'd have a fresh shot clock too, right?
That's right.
So these are the kinds of things that Hungerford wants. He wants to utilize the tempo. He wants the long offensive possession. He wants to wear down the Syosset defense. Again, outside of Lefkowitz and Singer, they've been suspect, and Farmingdale's done a good job of exploiting long possessions in the second half, and also getting the ball back off of shots in their own turnovers.
Stall warning is on now for Farmingdale as we approach 2 minutes left. Capucciati gets doubled. Tough pass picked up there by Becker. Now the Braves will double everybody. When will Greco come out of the cage?
Lefkowitz is roaming from the LSM position. He's going to be the fast to double every time.
And they went out. They stepped out.
Good dial up there by Calabria. Sending Lefkowitz in as the double, as the rover. He's a fast, athletic, tall midi. And here we go. Farmingdale just getting it back.
O'Keefe with the win. 19. He's under trouble, though. Decker, a huge GB. Stall warning back on. He gets it to X. That's where Zuleta is with him. Here comes Lefkowitz as well. Under 2 minutes left. Greco gets back in his cage. Behind the back. That shot wide by Becker. But the ball stays with Farmingdale.
I like the idea by Colton Becker there. The behind the back wasn't unwarranted. Very much would have increased his angle and would have been a big energy goal to put Farmingdale up 2 with less than 2 minutes left. But again, that was a good opportunity to maybe be conservative and overhand to seal this one up.
Wilson will get doubled at X. Greco creeping out of his crease. Now he gets back there. Tomaso Ramos. He's got Singer on him. Singer takes a swipe. Ball's on the carpet. And there's another big GB by Decker. He's right on the edge. Takes a shot. And there's the flag. Patolo will get the shot to the face, and now Farmingdale's really in no hurry.
If Farmingdale closes this one out, it will be the mental chess match that got them the victory with the way that they played in the second half.
Greco's got to come out of his cage.
Yeah, Syosset's really running out of options here. Unbelievable job for Farmingdale in the second half to continue to manage the face-off game, and for that matter, do some things that Syosset didn't expect to do, like double pole on the face-off, in order to try to get victories. Farmingdale did a great job of just playing the mental game, forcing tempo on offense to get the goals back, and then here they've just done a great job.
Another flag.
Of drawing out penalties and making long possessions. This is what you want to do. You make a defense tired. You make them go over-aggressive. They're careless. They start throwing careless checks and taking bad penalties. And, again, this is what Farmingdale has done so well here in the second half. Hopefully Ramos on the turf is going to be okay. Probably just a bit winded. And
well, I mean, he took quite a hack, and Hungerford doesn't like it. There'll be 2 men down and 10 seconds left. It's not going to mean much. And even the coaches are having some words here in what's been a heated, but you'd have to say, for the most part, a very clean game between these two teams.
Yeah, it's been aggressive. It's been scrappy at times, but, you know, nothing has been dirty to any degree. There was nothing really wrong. I mean, again, 2 penalties on Syosset there. The refs called it clean. There's nothing really egregious that any of the Syosset players did. They were just extending out and trying to get the ball back with 9 seconds left down by 1 in a big ball game. But again, Farmingdale has won the mental battle in the second half, exploiting Syosset's mistakes, having long possessions, forcing penalties. That's what has them 9 seconds away from victory right now.
So obviously this will be kind of a cosmetic man-up opportunity, as you've got Singer in the box as well as Catolo. So it'll be a 6-on-4 for 10 seconds, and you certainly don't expect the Dalers to even take a look at the cage. Capucciati will be very happy just to see this one out. The Dalers are an unbelievable rally in the second half. They were down 4-1. They scored 5 straight, and they win this one 6-5. Farmingdale in pole position to finish as the number 1 seed in Nassau Conference A. You've got to say, certainly a lot of heroes on the day, right, between these two teams.
And a lot of guys stepping up unexpectedly. Talking a lot about Jordan Smeichel and the role that he played. No pun intended, being a role player in order to contribute to the victory that he did on the face-offs, pushing the transition game. Really surprising to see the Syosset offensive duo not really create much between A.J. Alexander and Joe Buetti. Again, Syosset is a program that, much like Farmingdale, has had a lot of great attackmen in their history. The Cohen brothers, who went to Harvard. Of course, there was Ryan Hunter, who went to Ohio State, but the Syosset attack really couldn't get it done today. And what a performance from Tom Decker scoring a lot of goals, getting assists, utilizing his speed, played some great defense as well. He's a real prize for Scott Marr up at Albany.
Decker with 3 and 2 on the day, a real sort of focal point of the comeback. You also have to give credit, of course, to the man in the cage, Danny Seaman, with 13 saves on the game, and C.J. Mangio as well. Look, he not only held his own, but he got 4 face-off wins against the guy who is going to be a Division I face-off guy. Mangio perhaps will as well. He's a sophomore. He's a young buck, but what a job he did as well. And just for Farmingdale in general, just having the wherewithal. Things weren't going well. You were sloppy in the first half, maybe some nerves, who knows. But they righted the ship in a big way in that third quarter, dominated that 12-minute span, and ultimately won this game, and a huge win for the Dalers.
No question about it. C.J. Mangio won 2 face-offs in the first half. Again, lost the face-off battle 5-2, but the 2 face-offs that he won were huge because those were both draws where Syosset could have pulled away and made this a ball game that Farmingdale was not able to come back from in the second half. And then, as we said before, Farmingdale just won the second half straight up, mentally doing a great job of scrapping things up, being quick on the restart, and then when your goalie gets hot and makes saves on 2 of the best attackmen in the county and keeps them off the score sheet, you're not going to have many results where you're putting a tally on the outside of the column.
Also, before we go off air, I wanted to give props as well to 2 Poles who were unbelievable today as well. Lorenzo Ramos, 50 for Farmingdale, and Jordan Smeichel as well, number 1. They really impacted the game in a positive way for the Dalers. A huge game for both of them.
Christian Lembo also very strong on the clear
as well.
Carried the ball a lot.
Syosset falls to 8 and 2 on the year. Farmingdale, they improved to 9 and 1 with their 7th straight win. Let's take a quick look at, before we go off air, our upcoming schedule. They come thick and fast for us here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We go right back at it tomorrow. I'll be on the call for East Meadow and Garden City. And there you see the games coming up as well. Port Washington's got a big doubleheader again. They'll really have an impact here on the way this conference shapes up down the stretch. All of these games on the Varsity Media Sports Network. You subscribe to us on YouTube. You can follow us. You see on the bottom of your screen. Those are our social media platforms. We'll have more announcements as the playoffs come as well. So the most important time of year coming up for lacrosse. And this is your home for all of the big games on Long Island, the Varsity Media Sports Network. For my broadcast partner, Dave Franklin, for Larry Caritney, giving you all the images from atop the press box, and the immortal Chris Sweeney as well, doing the job directing. Dylan Butler here again, reminding you your final score: Farmingdale 6, Syosset 5. This has been a presentation of the Varsity Media Sports Network.